Welcome back to Tales of Truja, Campaign 2, Treasure of the Lost, episode, Evan?
6.
That's right, episode 6. It's been a little bit. We took a little break because Evan hurt his leg. That's why. That's the reason. If I could get a recap volunteer, do we have a volunteer for recap?
Go ahead, Cole.
I'm
He
good.
he volunteered you, Cole. It's like a must.
I've done a bunch of the recaps.
Okay, so essentially, we saved the day in what I could only describe as a harrowing yet dramatic climax, which ended with Beazle riding Esther out of a burning barn.
That's a climax right there.
Yeah,
For
I know. I know. I climaxed, but the the mayor is definitely going to climax too, since we've definitely won her over now. It's safe to say that she probably wants us both.
Beazle, at least. Maybe Gus. Yeah.
Can't fault an old dwarf for trying.
That's right. And so, Evan, you snuck in a little bit of a kiss. Beazle got citizenship through the patronage of the mayor, and you guys started. Yeah, and you started heading south, and we'll pick up with you guys on a kind of a well-walked dirt path with nice lush green fields to either side of you with trees sporadically placed as you travel along it. Oh, also, I'd like to mention that Beazle now has a beautiful Arthurian cloak with the Sylvan, I believe, is her name or last name.
I would like to say that when we cut in, I'm finishing up a story I'm telling to Beazle.
Oh, she's Nosabor. Well, yeah. So Cole's character
Nosabor.
Beazle, yeah, Nosabor. It's Sylvia Nosabor. Is the house Nosabor. So you have a beautiful kind of tunic and a very short cape with this house sigil of an elk, a silver elk, on your little cape. That's right, dressing you up like a dog. I'm just making sure you know the scene, Cole. I want you to know the scene.
And so as we cut in, I'm finishing up a story that I'm telling Beazle. And that, my boy, is why you don't see eye strikes anymore.
Okay.
Cole, why don't you roll history for me?
Eight.
You have a vague idea in memory that you are related to ice drakes. Now you can't recall when the last time you saw one was, but you do know you got some cousins out there.
And you know I'm right.
Yep.
That's what I love about you, boy.
What?
You got a good head on your shoulders.
Some people say it's kind of big.
Aye. Anyway, and I would like to look down at the map and guesstimate about how much farther we're going to have to walk before we hit the next watering hole.
Okay, why don't you give me a perception check?
Very well.
Where'd you get that map?
Well, you see, my boy. That's a 6.
Okay, you look down and you see your hands. There is no map.
but can there be a drawn on my palm? Like drawn on my palm?
You can have a little X written with charcoal on your palm.
And it even says you are here.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Evan, if I could give you one spell that I think would be very helpful for you, it would be the ability to conjure things, because you constantly make up crap that you don't have.
Yes.
And I love it. And I think
But can it be that it's because I'm a little old and I think that it's there? And I confidently believe it.
You can just be real dumb.
Can I just point out that it's so like the government that an official, aka the mayor, would give us a task to do in some place we've never been and not give us the means to get there?
Correct.
So you weren't really given a task. She just suggested that you could find work down at Seaport.
Well, my boy will be in Seaport before you know it. You know why they call it Seaport?
We're gonna get lost and starve.
No, we're not, my boy. That's not the attitude. Isn't that right, Esther?
Whoa.
We're gonna have to eat her.
No!
That got dark quick, Beazle. Whoa.
Wow.
His character
All
has
right.
shifted and grown so much from the last episode.
Like to declare that Seaport is in this direction, and I want to point and I want to say to Beazle, with the attempt to persuade him that we're close and that he does not need to eat Esther, it's right over that mountain, boy.
We're definitely gonna get lost.
So you
can I try to persuade him?
Yeah, for sure. You'll have to roll pretty high considering there are no mountain ranges like directly near you.
Or on the way, or even on the way to Seaport.
Well, I mean, if you had just because you're on that border town, Cole. I mean, there are the mountains right there, but you're like going down. So I mean, there is mountains if you head
14
east or northeast. You said 14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take it. Do your convincing.
See, boy, just over those mountains there lies Seaport, and there'll be all the winches, ale, and coin we could possibly conjure.
3 things he cares nothing about.
Exactly.
So scared. I'm so scared of witches.
Now I've got a story about witches for you, boy.
I've got a story for you.
What's that?
In the Fire Plains, there's this lady called the Ash Witch, and she always says you're asking the wrong questions, and it's just infuriating.
I hear she's a babe.
Really?
I hear she's a real babe.
Yet some people do think that she's in fact a babe.
Really? I should like to see this one day.
I think last time we ever heard anything about her, she got collected in like a jar, if I'm not mistaken.
And all footage of her was lost, like the person filming us was being paid to lose it.
There's a Dathia Mulaney out there somewhere. Anyways.
Dylan Mulvaney?
No, well, not too far off. Also, Matthew, if you're watching this, it's a joke. Anyways, back to it. So you guys continue. Now, that where you pointed.
But Beazle is convinced.
Yeah, but where you pointed, is it still along that road? Like, are you still on the dirt road?
Of course.
Okay. So that is so funny to me that you're worried about the direction when there's really only one direction you could be like logically taking. But hey, I'm with it. So Beazle, go for it. You've been convinced of this over the next hill or over the mountain shenanigans.
Giddy up.
Oh, are you riding Esther right now still?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're riding Esther. You're pretty high up there. That would make.
I would like to say I'm also hitting my pipe as I'm telling him.
Oh, we're conjuring some more things. Okay, now you have a pipe. I like it.
Yeah, and Beazle's polishing his lance of dragon slaying.
Well, I'm talking to you, boy.
Oh, you weren't ready for that, were you, Cole?
Oh, have you a little bit of humility, won't you?
So you keep walking down the path, and you walk down for a few days along this road, and you're camped out at night around a fire that Beazle has so fairly and kindly given to you. And you're just sitting there and you're munching on some beans, kind of like one could say of mice and men. And you're just kind of discussing your night, and you hear some shuffling out in the darkness.
I would like to kind of look in the direction of which I heard it.
Okay, go right ahead. Are you gonna
and gaze into the night sky?
I'm sure it's nothing.
That's a 10.
Okay, yeah. So you look around, and it just looks dark, and then you just oddly look up into the night sky, and you see some stars up there. I think it is.
Can I make out any constellations?
None that we have thought of. So no. You see stars in clusters, my friend. You see stars in clusters.
Is
One might even
Beazle
say
awake?
in the form of a grid or a net.
Is
Perhaps.
Beazle awake?
Yeah, you're both talking around this campfire. Now, Beazle can't see
Boy.
in the dark, so...
Boy, if you look up there and you see that constellation, they call that one Jugs.
Why?
Well, if you look really closely, you can see what appears to be the handle of a jug.
Those hold milk,
I
Beazle.
don't get it.
And, well, what it means, boy, is that we need a fresh drink. And I would like to unscrew my flask and take a nice big swig of ale.
A flask now. Okay. Keep me on my toes. What are you going to pull out next?
I'd like to pull out my Vorpal sword.
What's a Warfel sword?
Exactly. So, Evan, you pull out a flask filled with the most amazing brandy in all the world.
Well, I mean, it makes sense they would actually fill up our supplies before we would leave, though.
I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you're the mastermind behind the story, and you know exactly what's going to happen, Evan. I'm so glad. I
would just assume that you would, if you were traveling, you'd keep something to.
Well, you know what happens when you assume? You become an Evan.
Right. So, that's how you get a free flask, essentially.
And a broken foot.
And a broken foot. Yeah. Wow, those assumptions got you. So yeah, you pull out a flask, which you very specially have. It could be Sylvia Nossabor's personal flask with an engraving.
It is. It's got her crest on it, in gold.
Yeah, in silver. Yeah.
The
Nossabor silver elk. If you ever even write that down, it may not become pertinent again, but it is the silver elk.
Silver elk. That's
so
awesome.
You take a swig and you get tired and you pass out and Beazle just kind of watches you for a little bit. Beazle, are there any final nightly comments you'd like to make?
Nope, I would just like to go to Esther and get some milk into one of the cups on her, one of the metal ones.
Yeah.
Heat it up, and then drink it, and then fasten the cup back to her.
I like that he just gets cups all he wants, so nobody questions it.
I'll tell you why he gets cups. Because we specified that out of all the things he stole, you put them all on Esther as jingly jangly things.
But she's beautiful.
Irrelevant, but true. She's a gorgeous... Well, is she still pretty cool? She's damaged goods. She's missing a tail.
No, we replaced the tail with some necklaces that
more things that have happened off screen. Thank you, Evan.
But we will. No, we will do it. We will.
Yeah.
Give us time.
She's Snoop Cow now.
Snoop Cow.
And Beazle's gonna look for something similar to what he would have slept in with his people. So like a cave or a den or something. Like sleeping out in the open makes him feel very, very, very vulnerable.
Okay.
Direct fire.
So you're gonna walk off into the woods.
Well, not far, but just in the immediate area. I just wanted to see if there's a cave or something in the immediate area.
By yourself?
Yeah, he's doing his thing, Evan. Let him be. He's a grown man. He's a grown man.
Aren't you sleeping?
I just worry about my boy.
All right, Cole, why don't you roll perception as you walk out into the woods?
That's going to be pretty good. 14.
14. So you walk off about 100, 200 yards, and you find a burrow in a tree that you could fit in and snuggle down for a long winter's nap in your new uniform with your cute cape. And you're going to go to sleep there?
Yep, I'm going to just crawl in it, and if there's any squirrels, I'm going to say, scoot over! Push myself into the...
Yeah. So actually, you get in there, there's a raccoon. And if you want some really deep backstory on this raccoon, it doesn't have a name. It is a female raccoon that recently lost its young.
Oh, God.
Recently lost its young and is heartbroken and is searching for answers as to what her purpose is in life.
I fasten the Nosabor cloak to the raccoon. And I take my 3 fingers and I say, I love thee, Madam Raccoon.
You're giving patronage. You're the new patron for this raccoon. Is this going to be a new cast member? This raccoon?
Can I roll animal handling to see if it'll follow me?
100%. 100. I'll give you advantage because you comforted her in her time of need.
Hey, since Cole's walked away from the campsite, can I roll animal handling of a different type?
You're disgusting and asleep. Now go back to bed.
Okay. So the high is going to be 16.
16, 100%. You have won her heart. She's
Aw.
still very depressed and sad because all of her kids are dead. But hey, now there's this weird little lizard guy who's just cuddling her in this burrow.
And now Morgan has a character to play.
But she gets no words, just little noises.
That's okay. She can do a raccoon noise very well. Trust me, I've made her mad enough to know.
What the hell?
I don't doubt that. So, yeah, you start to go to bed, and you're both fast asleep, and the sun rises, and Evan, you wake up, and you hear voices, non-Beazle voices, all around you.
I would like to kind of listen and see if I can make out the language or anything in particular.
Yeah, it's common. They're speaking common, and you hear.
Oh.
Yeah, you hear them say, "Look at this fat sleeping idiot."
At least they're not paying attention to me. I would like to try to pounce up and just be like ready to go.
Okay, my first question is, do you sleep clothed? Could have been a hot night. See, because you're pouncing up.
Yep, I'm naked.
Okay, so you.
But I have my tunic on.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like long johns. Gotcha.
No, like I've got that on. I have no trousers.
Okay, so you pounce up real quick. A lot of jiggling happening.
As much as my strength as I can conjure.
And as you get up, you see that you are surrounded by 2 Dawnmen and 2 male Dawnmen and 1 female Dawnman, and they're kind of taken aback.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to be friendly enough. They're not really like there to attack you, or they most likely would have done it in your sleep. And there you are.
What brings you to this neck of the woods?
Please put some clothes on.
You first.
And you see him look down at himself just to make sure. Sometimes you have those dreams where you're walking around naked, and looks up. And it's like, I am wearing clothes.
Why? What brings you traveling so late out here?
Well, it's the morning. And the woman kind of walks up and...
It's the morning?
Yeah, I said the sun starts to rise and you hear voices as you wake up. It's okay. Why don't you just conjure up a whole military to protect you and Beazle? I think that's probably your best route.
Well, we had 2 guys on Firewatch. No,
when Beazle's done Snow Whiting it up with the woodland creatures.
Yeah, plus naturally too. I didn't know. You see, also it's meta knowledge. I didn't know until I woke up that Beazle wandered off either. See what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't question that. Yeah, you have no idea where Beazle is.
Yeah, and so I don't know where I don't know. I'm just now recognizing that he's gone.
Why don't you give me a history check?
Of the woodland creatures.
That's otherwise I would.
Evan, give me a history check. Oh yeah, we understand that you do not know where he is.
18.
18. Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily think he's gone. You've seen him many times in the past just kind of slip into shadows and disappear just because he's scared or is trying.
Well, I'm not going to mention him.
You don't have to mention that. I'm telling you, this is history for yourself.
I'm just saying I'm going to keep it a secret if they don't know about him.
You go for it. All
right.
So the woman walks up and says, "We came from a caravan. We broke down and we're just kind of searching the area. We've been having a hard couple weeks."
I hate to hear that. Where are you headed?
We're just south. We're just trying to get out of this area. There's been a lot of trouble happening recently.
What sort?
We don't really like to kiss and tell, but there's been a lot of raids in nearby villages by this very
Kissing
large.
raids?
Well, no, that'd be ridiculous. And you can tell she's kind of getting upset with you because they have gone through some hardships, real difficult times. And she continues as goblins, this very large goblin clan that's migrated out this way recently has really been giving us some trouble.
I've experienced problems with mind goblins before.
Mind goblins? And she says, the stone goblins?
Aye.
Right. So yeah, you
a
have.
dwarf doesn't reach this age without experiencing quite a few things about goblins in the past, and you can tell now I'm kind of putting on airs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Are your pants still on the ground?
Yes.
So you're looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
Huh? Who said that? Is that from a song or something?
Could be. Could be.
But you see, I, having been an old adventurous dwarf myself, can take care of quite a few goblins, you know?
So hold on. You don't even see Dawnman or a female Dawnman. You just see 3 fat dwarves.
Huh?
You're just still hungover and drunk from the night before. You said myself, insinuating that they are also dwarves, older dwarves.
No, I was just saying.
I'm just telling you grammatically.
I'm letting you know that I consider myself a connoisseur.
That's an interesting pronunciation. I like it.
Of the goblin kind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Particularly the mind goblins. Those are the worst kind.
You have a history of killing them?
So to speak.
Well, yes or no? Because if that's true, we could scrounge up some coin for you if you could help us.
I like it!
That was a quick on board. Okay. This isn't the end of Breakfast Club. Let's calm down. So she continues and says, "Are you by yourself? Traveling with this cow?"
Aye. This is my bandmate, Esther.
Your bandmate?
Yes. We are part of the group known as Screeching Beazle.
I believe you said bedmate, Esther.
No, I said bandmate, Esther. Dirty mind.
Okay, now we'll transfer back over to Weasel. You guys really seem to like to be apart for for companionship.
It's just Cole.
It's gone well so far.
And that's true. You've racked up quite a few kills, Beazle.
And friends.
You've made a
racked
friend.
Up quite a few dead friends.
That's also true. Big time. Rest in peace.
He's not my friend.
Yeah, he betrayed us.
Legit saved your lives multiple times. Anyways, so yeah, you're cuddling and you start to rub your little eyes as the sun seeps into the woods.
Yep, and I'm gonna wake up and I'm just gonna pat Madam Raccoon on the head.
Madam Raccoon, huh?
That's the name? Madam Raccoon. Raccoon.
And I'm going to say, Beazle's gonna go now, but you follow as you please.
And she looks up at you with those black coal eyes, and you know that she will always be in your shadow.
And I climb down from the tree and start heading back towards camp.
Okay. It is just like a burrow at the bottom of the tree. You just kind of like coming out of the dirt. Yeah. So yeah, you towards Evan.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
I heard Evan go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Cole, are you going towards Evan?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you start walking that way in your Trojan colors or your Arthurian colors, and the raccoon follows behind on all fours with the cape kind of flowing as you all approach. And
how to be a ranger without being a ranger.
exactly. And you approach, and you can kind of you see them before you hear them. You see the three large people kind of standing over your friend, who has his pants on the ground, and he just looks, fearful and useless as usual.
Hey, they're folded over by my campfire. They were, just getting dried.
Okay.
Had a
So
bad
Beasel's
night. Little pee.
Huh?
Little pee in the trousers.
No, I'm just saying at night you keep them down in your sleeping bag. It dries them out. Because you're obviously you're.
Are they by the fire, or are they in the bottom of your sleeping bag? Who gave you a sleeping bag, Evan? Who gave you a sleeping bag?
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Oh, a bedroll. That's definitely something else. All right, let's continue, boys.
So Beazle is gonna look at Madam Raccoon, and he's gonna say, "I'll make a distraction. You save Gus."
So because you're pretty much an animal. I mean, honestly. She just kind of got the vibe from you that you were being nice and stuff, and you just use really calming words. She doesn't know any English.
That's okay. No, I prefer it that way.
Okay, perfect. So, what did you say you were going to do?
Make a distraction. I want to come out of the woods going,
okay,
shooting fire.
So you come out of the woods all very small, breath here and there.
On that note, I would like to attempt to draw my guitar and hit a note, my litar.
Okay, and then the raccoon just kind of scurries off from the flames, scared as can be, did not expect it. And then,
and I would like
Gus
a
pulls out
wave
his litar.
of energy to come out, like an invisible wave.
That's up to you.
And I'm gonna say as I come out, I'm a scary goblin.
Yes, they call us Screeching Beazle, and we're from the depths of the mountains that come. I'm gonna come. Yes, we come to slay the dragon. We will behead all the goblins. We will do this stuff because we had fun. We're the hottest group around. We make all of the golden clanky sounds.
Madam Raccoon
and Beazle, we're better than Screeching Weasel. Screeching Beazle, the hottest thing, shorter than a fire drake.
Beautiful.
So that last is pretty much who we are.
Yeah, so they're super confused. You can see on their faces, like, what the flip just happened? And then the woman sees Beazle as he says that he's a scarier, creepy goblin, and she goes, "That is the weirdest goblin I've ever seen," and draws her sword and just runs towards Beazle.
Oh, nope. I would like to try to grab her arm.
Okay, quick, grapple. Right here, let me do a counter to it.
That's a 17 plus 4.
Oh, I forgot you're really strong.
Yeah.
You said 17 plus 4?
Mm-hmm.
You just barely beat me. Yeah, so you're able to just grab her as she swings around to you and is very, I mean, she is a female Dawnman, but she's still much larger than you. She's probably like 6'2", 6'3", so at least 2 feet bigger.
Now, lass, don't go hurting my son.
Your son is a goblin? I thought you killed goblins.
Not just a goblin, but one of the last great fire drakes from the north.
I literally have no idea what you're talking. Do you even know what a goblin is?
Do I know? Beazle, tell her.
My vertigo is kicking in.
So as you're walking, you're blowing your flame, you go, vertigo, and you just kind of collapse to the ground.
Yeah, when I hit the ground, I'm going to say, Madam Raccoon, help!
And
look what you've done to him,
she's
lass.
running.
Look what you've done to
she
him.
was running away, and then she hears that, and her mom instincts kick in, and she starts booking it towards you with her little evil paws. And she reaches you and just kind of like holds over you and does like when the raccoons are pissed and they put their back up real high and their fur, and she's kind of hissing at everybody. And then Gus, you're holding the female Dawnman, and everyone's really confused at what's happening right now.
Is she beautiful?
It's very random.
Madam Raccoon? Yes.
Huh?
She's a goddess among men. Madam Raccoon, not the Dawn woman.
I would like to.
She's
try
homely.
To use, like my quick act of strength and reflexes as a persuasive attempt to woo her and get a kiss for old Gus here.
With advantage because he's pantsless.
That's right.
Not advantage, no. So
is that okay?
This will be for persuasion. A little creepy, I'm not gonna lie, a little rapey. But yeah, sure, go for it.
It's just old Gus. Just doing old Gus stuff, man. It's 16.
Yeah, so you swing her.
Where are the ladies?
So weird. You swing her and kiss her, to which you receive a very strong swing at your face from one of the men. Let's see if that hits.
What? Why are people always trying to punch me?
Probably because you randomly swung a woman in to kiss her without knowing anything.
She was going to hurt my son.
Well, she also thought your son was a goblin because he announced to everyone that he's a goblin, and they just expressed having problems with, guess what? Goblins.
How do you mistake one of the last great fire drakes of the north for a goblin?
So he swings at you, does a 15 hit.
Let me see here. It hits by 1, damn it.
Good. For 4 points. So he sucker punches you in the face.
That's it. I want to retaliate.
Causing you to reel back and hold your nose. Okay, sure. Don't try to talk it out ever, guys. Let's just get in a full-on brawl.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you think is what we should do.
Yeah, I think you should.
I would like to punch back at him, obviously. Do a nice little spinning backhand.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
19, baby.
Yeah, it's going to hit.
So just kind of like, because I guess I was holding her, kissing her, and he punched me in the back of the head.
No, he punched you right in the face. You kissed her, you let go, punched you in the face. You took a couple steps back. I don't even think you reaching up all the way and jumping reaches his face. So if you'd like to punch somewhere else, you can.
Oh, seriously?
Oh yeah, you're not tall enough to hit him in the face.
Well, I guess I'll just sweep his knee then, if that's where I'm at.
Okay, you're facing him. He punched you. You took a couple steps back.
I never know where the fuck I am on these.
I know. If you just listen, I tell you. So, if you would like to swing at him, yeah, you can get him like the gut. Gut would probably be like the.
Sure, then gut.
Okay, sweet. Roll for damage.
It's a hand, so is that a D6?
1d4.
1d4. That's right. Okay. I only got a 1.
So that's for 5.
So 5.
Yep. So you punch him in the gut, and it's almost like a Dragon Ball Z scene where his your fist kind of goes through his gut, but his stomach doesn't, like, obviously you don't go through, but it's like mounded around, and
his intestines.
He throws up blood and collapses to the ground.
Everybody stop this madness.
Help!
This madness? You started this madness.
You started this madness.
How did I? I'm trying to kill that goblin.
That's not a goblin, that's my son!
Your son's a goblin.
You are a fool.
I don't even know where to go from here.
Leave.
You leave.
You leave, and then I'll leave.
And the guy on the ground goes, "Bleh. Help, please."
Help me first.
And then I go to help Beazle.
Okay, so you go over to Beazle, and they kind of crouch down and help him. And you get over to him, and there's this random raccoon hissing at you and trying to bite you.
It's okay, Madam Raccoon.
I would like to scoop Beazle up and us get the heck out of here. I don't care how much we slept. We're moving.
Okay, so you
Grab
pick
my
up
raccoon.
Beazle again without trousers, and there's the raccoon, and she's still not very sure about you, so she takes a nip at you. Hopefully in a spot you don't mind getting bit.
Or I do one bit.
Okay. All right, that is a nat 20.
Jesus Christ, are you kidding me?
I am not. Well, it doesn't help because it's blurry. But yeah, it is a nat 20, and that will be
I hope it kills me.
a bite. It definitely won't kill you. All right, for what is that? That's 5 points of damage. She bites at you, gets a ball right in the mouth.
Well,
She clamps down, and Beazle is obviously freaking out, like trying to get her to stop.
Don't worry, she did that to me too. It just means she likes you.
So
that would take me down to like 40 health.
Gus is like swinging around, and like you fall to your butt while this raccoon is biting you, but you're holding Beazle still, so it's like hard to like get down there and stop the raccoon. And all the while, the Dawnmen up over
I'm about to smash it with a hammer.
Over by Esther are just laughing at you, getting bit by this raccoon. It's not like you're not going to lose it.
Throw the raccoon at one of them.
No, please.
Okay, sure. Give me strength, and then give me dexterity.
Give me strength, or give me death. Strength is 19.
Okay.
I worked hard to get that raccoon.
Okay, so you grab this raccoon, and you kind of just drop Beazle, and why don't you try to do a ranged attack with it?
So that would be dex, you said?
Yeah.
16 or 17 with a +1.
Well, that'll do it. So it's 18 or 17 with the +1.
Correct.
Okay.
Or 18 with the +1, my bad.
So you hurl the raccoon, and she feels like the superhero of a lifetime. Her cape is flowing. She brings both paws to the center and feels like that doesn't feel right. So she puts one paw down and just puts the other one forward. And the other two Dawnmen, they've never seen a flying raccoon before, so they kind of dodge out of the way. And the guy on the ground is who gets hit by all of that fury, and the raccoon just bites everything piss out of the nose and rips it off of this dude on the ground. And he's wailing and screaming as he's throwing up blood, and blood's coming out of his nose. Well, what used to be his nose. So the raccoon runs back to Beazle as fast as she can with the nose and mouth.
And I'm going to take the nose and put it in my bag.
Very creepy. But I love it. So later on in the story, Cole, when you randomly say you're going to bring out like a partly decomposed nose, guess what? I'll remember. So I got you, bro.
And I'm going to start pushing the raccoon up onto Esther. So if you can imagine little Beazle and the
No,
raccoon.
you're not by Esther, right? Because he had to walk out to you when you were doing your little vertigo thing. And they're right next to Esther by the campfire. Or dead campfire.
Well, then I'm going to walk to Esther and start helping the raccoon mount on top.
Okay, so you walk over to Esther, and they're like dragging him up, and they're saying, "We'll get revenge on you. We will get you, you Goblin King." And they refer to you, Cole, as a Goblin King.
Don't call him a Goblin King.
Well, it's too late.
You've obviously never heard of Beezle the Dragon Sage, and that's okay.
That's right. One of the last great dragon sages, might I add.
You two are freaks, and they drag him off further down that path that you were headed.
At least we still have noses.
Yeah, so now you're a party of 4. There's Esther, Madam Raccoon,
and Rocket.
Beezle, and Gus.
Rocket the Raccoon.
Yeah. What would you like to do now?
King.
And
Let's get on the damn road.
Goblin King. You're going to continue down the road following me.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So
we're going to Seaport, right?
Yeah.
And Beezle's gonna hand Madam Raccoon to Gus so he can just pet her and kind of soothe his anger.
Bloody thing bit me.
Gus, will you put your trousers back on?
Yeah, I would like to put my trousers on now.
Okay, perfect.
Also, I want a chance to shop for regal clothes like what I'm wearing in this picture.
Yeah, for sure. Once we get to a town, I'd be totally down for you to purchase items so that I know that they're in your inventory and that you can use them later on in the game. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that forever, but we keep going from like huge epic fight to epic fight. I can't like...
That's true. You having your 0 epic fights, but Beezle having those fights is pretty taxing to you and your character, I imagine. So,
hey, I threw a raccoon at a guy.
That's true.
And I shoved somebody out a window once.
That
Do you know what your
true.
outfit? Do you know what your character's outfit looks like? It's very like Erebor dwarf.
Yes, I love it. That's my outfit, yeah. And see, look right there. What's that? A water skin.
Yeah. Do you have it though? I don't know. Do you also have those little wizard guys behind you?
And as we continue on the road to Seaport, I would like to begin telling an elongated story to Beezle and his new raccoon and the new raccoon about the last time I was in Seaport.
Tell us. And roll persuasion to see if they believe you. Well, by they, I
remember it like it was yesterday. The great salt winds of Seaport riding over my... At that time, boys, there wasn't as much gray in my beard, you see. It had more of a blondish, reddish tint. But anyway, I was quite young, and, back then, whenever the boys wanted to make port, we would make port there in Seaport, because it's right off the sea. And then next thing you know... You start having a couple of drinks down there on the port, start walking around, grabbing asses and such. Next thing you know, you spend a night in the old Seaport jail.
Was there still a band?
There's always a band.
So, I'm replaceable?
No! Never. I mean, you're one of the first great dragon sages I've ever met.
Evan, roll persuasion. Cole, roll counter persuasion on the comment of, am I replaceable?
Oh, gosh.
What'd you get?
Not good, but that's good in this situation. A 7.
A 7? I got a 17.
Sweet. So, Cole, you're convinced you are not replaceable.
I'm very validated right now.
Yeah, as you should be, my little friend. And by the way, the reason I think he's a dragon sage, if you'll recall, is because he persuaded me that he was.
He is also the Goblin King now.
One of my favorite things about our relationship is it's completely built and fabricated on lies. But, it is what it is.
Are we toxic for each other?
I love it.
You're definitely toxic.
And also,
in different ways.
And also, he has to believe me that all about my Seaport, my last excursion, which is only slightly true, by the way. There is more to the story than that.
Beezle wants to believe you. In Beezle's mind, you're the great wizard, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
You two are just so dumb that you believe everything each other says, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Yes, you see, boy, back in those days, I ran with a different adventuring guild.
Hey, Cole, do you want to hear the most annoying noise in the world?
What's that?
I'm not going to do it, but it was a Dumb and Dumber reference.
Yeah, I thought you were saying my voice.
No, Evan, I don't think your voice is annoying.
Yes.
Yes, my friend.
Did you know that I came from an egg?
I did know that.
This is his personal story.
And some people say, what came first, Beezle or the egg? It's very confusing. What?
Well, what came first?
The egg.
Ah, that's right, my boy.
Do you think raccoons lay eggs?
My boy, you see, raccoons are a little different than you.
How?
Well, as you can see, they're soft and furry, whereas you are shiny and scaly.
But she has teeth, and I have teeth.
Got you
That's
there.
true. And, hey, she also has eyes.
Yeah, and ears.
Cole,
And ears.
try to persuade Gus into thinking you're pretty much the same thing.
Do it.
That's 20.
All right, use your words there, Beazle.
Yeah, I would imagine that raccoons and dragon sages are the same, except where they are from down south, they can afford to have fur. And where I'm from, the fire plains, fur would just be very, very inconvenient and flammable.
Much has changed, my boy. Much has changed in the world.
I'm gonna put Madam Raccoon's head next to Beazle's head.
So you're gonna take it from Gus?
Yes.
Okay. So you put each other.
So
you're both
I completely believe him now, and I'm just convinced that raccoons are mystical.
Or you believe that they're the same thing as kobolds, or very similar, rather.
I think he's a great dragon sage from the north. That's all I know.
Fun fact. I didn't even know there were raccoons in Truja till this very episode.
There are now.
And you learned that I used to be part of a gang of pirates.
Yeah. Yep, which I wholeheartedly believe.
Yep.
Ahoy.
So as you continue down the path, you see that broken down caravan that's been kind of makeshift, made into like a small, almost like a tent city, similar to the one that you were in, Evan, or when Gus was in, when he was in the treasure-seeking company. Now, you're not necessarily close to them yet. You're kind of at the peak of a hill, but you see them down the path.
My boy, I think I found trans for us.
What's trans?
Well, it's when you're footsore and you don't feel like walking and you'd rather ride.
You do have Esther.
Like transportation?
Absolutely, my boy. Absolutely.
I wonder if transport leads to seaport.
Whoa.
Was that a persuasion attempt?
I don't know. I do not know.
No.
I would like to try to persuade Beazle that this is going to be our caravan.
I like that 90% of all of our roles are persuading one another. I really do. Like, I think that's hilarious. Yeah, go for it.
Try to persuade Beazle that this is going to be our transport and our caravan for.
What if I just want to believe him?
Sure, yeah, done. Easy enough.
Oh, hey, you see, Beazle? This is going to be our bandwagon.
Bandwagon.
Yes, for our music equipment as we travel this great, prosperous land.
There must be a lot of people jumping on this bandwagon.
There will be before the journey is over, my boy.
I hate both of you so much. So as you are you going to go down and approach?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you go down and approach, and you see the familiar face of that female dawnman who starts screaming, kind of looking around, and...
Hey, baby, since you love me, you might as well give me your caravan.
So she's not really in, like... She's kind of far off, and she's screaming at getting a bunch of other people. So a bunch of dawnmen and female dawnmen, they start...
Dawn women.
That's right, dawn women.
Dawn women.
They start coming out from the caravan with makeshift weapons, with some swords, some pikes, and they're shouting at you, and they start to charge.
How much?
And they gain on you very quickly.
All right. Hold it right there. before you continue. A whooping you shall receive if you...
Cole, give me an insight check while he sings.
13.
Run. That's what you get.
I have the raccoon still, right? I have Esther. I'm just gonna grab her by the mane and pull her around and say, "Giddy up!" and flick my clawed feet into her side.
All right, Gus. So they start going. Are you going with? He's enthralled.
Casting a spell to enchant your heart. If you get too close, I'll have to fart. I'm enchanting you now, you can't look away, while my friends slip away.
Who are you trying to enchant?
The crowd.
Not gonna happen. So they catch up to you, and one and one takes the Latar, and they push you to the ground, and this giant crowd of people just start beating the crap out of you. But it's okay because Beazle got away with the animals, and
Right.
and so yeah, you're just booking it, Beazle. Are you looking back longingly?
Yeah, we're looking back, and then we're turning around and charging them when they're distracted.
Like if you see an opening from this like 20 or 30 people.
Yeah, like are they not all facing Gus?
Well, no, I imagine they're kind of mob mentality, right? So some of them are beating him up, but they can't all crowd up on him and start beating him up. And there's still a bunch of people over at the caravan.
Okay, I'm gonna sit Madam Raccoon in between my legs, turn Esther around, ride her back, and just be shooting fire every which direction to try to intimidate them.
Okay, yeah. So you start to shoot fire. And by the way, the sun's starting to go down. It's getting fairly dark. So yeah, you're blowing these giant flames into the sky, and the woman says, "Stop! Stop! It's the Goblin King!" And they're like, the Goblin. You just hear like kind of like the wave of people saying the Goblin King, and they are looking over, and they just see the fire in your eyes and the flames that you're putting off, and this raccoon and the cow. It's just all very confusing and overwhelming for them. And yet,
are they distracted enough for me to like try to slip out?
Yeah, why don't you start to crawl for me? And it's going to be weird, but roll stealth for me as well. So yeah,
I rolled an 18.
An 18, yeah. So you start to slowly crawl as they're all dumbfounded and looking at him, and some of them.
Yeah, I have never mind. I'm 19. I'm sorry. I do have a stealth bonus. I'm sorry.
That's perfect. So you're crawling out of there very bloodied, right? You're bruised and bloodied.
Bastards.
Beat up pretty good. And they're scared, and they kind of run over to the tents to get more people, and you're able to get to Gus. Would you like to pick him up? Well, not physically.
Yeah.
All right, Gus. You're just gonna have to kind of slump over the back of Esther. You're pretty beaten.
Can I hold my hand up and my Latar flies to it?
You know what?
It's enchanted.
Well, not like that though. So yeah, why don't you raise your hand up
near
and give me an Arcana check?
All right. Shoot. 13 plus 1.
Perfect. So much like Sabine Wren trying to move that cup on the starship, you reach out, but nothing happens. So you scurry back over and grab your Latar and kind of drape yourself, do a little hop over on Esther. And a spear just flies right at Esther's head. Not in, but just scares the heck out of her, and she just takes off into the woods.
I have a plan, my boy.
And
I
Esther,
don't think they wanted us to have the bandwagon.
I have a plan, my boy.
What's that?
We're gonna lead the goblins here to victory.
Yeah, so you keep heading into
For Sovngarde!
You keep heading into the trees, And very quickly, or I'll give you a chance. Cole, give me an investigation, and same with you, Gus.
I am very emotional about this. What just happened, by the way.
My investigation was an 18.
An 18. Okay, so you see this big net, because you can see in the dark, right? And it's getting really dark at this point. You can see this big net trap underneath some leaves. Would you like to try to steer Esther out of it? Because she's real spooked.
Well, better question. Can I shoot flames at the rope connected to the net to where when we step in it, it won't activate?
Like to just burn the net in general, or burn where it comes to?
Yeah, so like if it like a net trap, I mean, I'm imagining there has to be some kind of like
pulley.
Yeah.
Tricks. Can I burn the device?
I don't think I recall specifying that you could see it, but let's just say you can. But yeah, give me Dex, and that one's going to be a little bit harder because it's kind of a small shot. Let's get a 17 on that. You got it?
Yeah, you're going to be so mad because it's going to be an 18.
I'm not going to be mad at all. Well, 17 would do it too. So you launch it, and she's able to run over it perfectly.
Epic. Are we flying through the woods right now?
Yeah, she's right, because she got spooked, right? Because that spear.
And it's daytime?
No, it's becoming nighttime. The sun's getting real low, big guy. But you don't catch the tripwire, and Esther runs right into that, and everyone kind of lunges off and falls to the ground.
I want to do a flip.
Oh, you're going to flip a lot, just not intentionally. And so you all just black out. And when you come to, you're inside of what appears to be a cave, very dimly lit, with many sets of eyes staring at you.
I would like to speak out in the goblin tongue and say, hello there.
Okay, so in common you say hello there.
But I say it with a goblin accent.
Okay, let me hear the accent.
Hello there.
And you just hear that echo throughout the cave, and then a goblin walks up to you and clears his throat and goes, "Hey." In that voice, by the way. Hey.
By chance, what clan are you from, my friend?
You don't know?
It has been some time since I've traveled these parts.
Oh, we're new here. We're new. We are the Forgotten Clan. We are the Hunted Clan. We are the great enemy of the Silent Knife. We are the Gibbons Clan.
Well, how would you feel about a raid on a nice caravan?
You're talking about our meal ticket out there?
Mm-hmm.
Why would we need your help?
What? Excuse me.
What would it be, Cobalt?
This is a very nice cave.
Thank you.
Are we shackled?
No, you're just kind of on the ground.
Can we see more of it?
And why would you want to see more of it?
I live in a cave in my home.
That's fair. Well, why don't you two come with me? We're going to have to leave your raccoon with a cape and your very jeweled cow.
Very well.
Okay, but you won't hurt them, right?
Why would we hurt these wonderful, beautiful creatures?
The boy's been through a lot.
Guys, I'm going to love it here.
My boy, so as we are, suffice to say, we've had our trouble with Dawnman. Ever since me and the boy have left, dwarf hold, we've had nothing but trouble.
Gus, can we let him show us the cave? I
Absolutely.
need to see it.
Let us walk and talk, my friends.
Yeah. Follow me. So he takes you through random caverns and points out, you could tell they've not been there very long. There's chambers with their young. There's essentially what you would call or consider barracks, kind of makeshift armories, food stores. You see some Dawnmen chained up dead in one of the caverns, very much dead. And you get the vibe these are not good goblins. These guys are pretty jacked up in the mind.
You see, my friend, we've been wronged many times by the Dawnmen. Since, like I said, since we've left Hold, and we've sought nothing but shelter and safety amongst their people. And we have always been beaten down and outcast, and I've had enough of it, as of my boy here.
Yes, they don't respect Beezle the Dragon Sage, Goblin King.
Exactly. And they refer to him as the Goblin King.
The Goblin King.
Yes,
well, if there's
a lady...
anything that I can tell you, I know about being an outcast. For many hundreds of years, that is all we have been. Hiding in the shadows, growing stronger, more powerful, ready to take out the very bane of our existence.
Beezle says, "You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it." As he animates his own shadow to grow larger and look menacing on the wall behind him.
Mm-hmm. And the goblin goes, I like the parlor trick. I really do. And I respect you. I think
what
we're
you need, my friend,
like-minded.
is an emissary.
What I need is for you to be quiet while I talk to the king. Would that be okay? And then he looks back at Beezle and says, please try to control your pet.
Yes.
That's actually the wizard.
A wizard? Ah.
But a goblin enthusiast wizard.
Oh, very nice. I'm glad you like our kind. You study us like we're pets, creatures. Things that can't be tamed.
No. He is the court wizard of the Goblin King.
That's correct.
So he is your manservant. Or dwarf servant.
I entertain the boy.
Well, wizards are hard to come by, and it's no surprise that a Goblin King would acquire one.
We are going to need your help.
It sounds like we can help each other.
We can. We need the bandwagon.
My lord, if I may?
You may. He may.
Fair enough, King, fair enough.
Perhaps we could be the emissaries they need. Their link between their world and the one that they seek.
I like what you're saying, wizard, but I do know that you got the crap beat out of you by a whole slew of them, and the only reason you lived is because of your king.
Those shall not be a problem much longer.
So, in what way will you be my emissary?
Well, we shall build a war wagon and spread word of your coming.
That is the opposite of what we want.
I am old enough to remember a time when goblins traded in these lands freely with the Dawn.
My will be done, my kingdom come.
on Intrusia as it is in Sovngarde.
Where's the rest of your military, Great Beezle, Dragon Sage, Goblin King?
They are currently being magically enhanced by the Ash Witch of the Fire Plains.
You came alone. That speaks to your power.
Yes. A brave king leads from the front.
I would like to bow to Beezle as he says that.
Yeah, for sure. You bow down, you kiss the ground upon which he walks, which is very strange, but hey, you're there for the ride. Especially since, these goblins would 100% tear you apart. Both of you.
Want to?
Want to? No, like would.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they have? I know a lot of goblins have like wolves that they train or something that they ride, mounts.
No, there's no mounts here. They're very clear. Like they move in, they move out. They try to stay in the shadows because they're. Why don't you give me a history check?
12.
12K. So you don't know specifically about this clan. You just know that there are certain clans of goblins that are supremely hated throughout the whole lands of Trusia. Like some that are just killed in mass genocide to get rid of their bloodlines. And you surmise that this is one of them.
'Tis a shame.
They are bad dudes. I mean, it makes sense to kill them off. But I digress. So, King, what can we do for you?
First, we need to assemble a war council.
Who would you like at this war council?
Any of your leaders, and then Madam Raccoon must be there, and the court wizard, and myself.
Yes.
What of your steed?
No, she's just to be guarded. At the utmost of peril, she is to be guarded.
I will put my honor guard upon it. So yeah, a council is assembled. He's there. A couple of his war chiefs are there. They have one kind of abnormally large goblin, presumably probably a half breed.
Like a half human?
Yeah, like a half Dawnman. It's just like essentially an abomination of sorts. And you guys are all sitting around.
And goblins, are they about 3 foot tall in y'all's?
They're about the same size as the kobolds. I mean, they're probably a little bit larger.
So am I bigger than? I'm bigger than
You
them.
are typically bigger. You're not as big as the half breed. But
So-
yeah, you're all around the same size. You're just
What we
burlier.
need, gentlemen, to really kick things off, if you might, my liege, would be that war wagon.
We're going to have to kill the Dawnman to get it.
Correct.
I'm not so much concerned with acquiring a war wagon, as you say. We're kind of light on our feet and quick to battle.
That's good.
What I would
But
really
a
need
little
help
protection.
with, well, we travel in caves, and it's kind of hard to get them in there. And we don't have anything to really move them about. But what we would really like is just to have these guys dead. To be honest, we'd like them dead. We're hungry. We eat them. It's a good time.
Allow us.
It sounds like a fair trade between the king and his vassals. We kill them, all of us kill the Dawnman, and then we take the war wagon for the invasion of the Ash Goblins.
Yes.
Oh, your army is goblins, not kobolds.
No,
To which?
no, they are goblins.
They are, oh. Are they our cousins to the north, the stone goblins?
Enhanced stone goblins.
Wow, very impressive. Very impressive. And how are you enhancing them?
By the magic of the Ash Witch.
How are they being enhanced? What is enhanced upon them?
Magically.
Oh, that means that they can now travel in daylight.
Very impressive indeed. Here's the thing. I do believe you to be great and powerful. I saw what you did in the field. But I need you to go up against my champion to really prove that you are what you say you are. Would that be fair, King?
Deal.
So we'll fast forward to you lining up in this kind of fighting pit in the cave. Yes,
Can
Evan?
I kind of be like how in Rocky, how he had his coach?
You're gonna be Mickey for sure. But you gotta talk like this.
Hey, you got him, Basil. You're gonna have him on the rope, son. You're gonna push. You're gonna stop pushing until you win. Because you're a winner, Basil. You're a winner.
And then the half goblin is on the other side. Again, you're in like this circular pit, almost like a coliseum, but obviously very small scale. And there's a lot of goblins just hanging from the ceiling, just hanging all around and watching and sitting.
By the way, I'm absolutely having a blast with this right now.
I'm glad. You've become a manservant wizard, which is really impressive. All right, so Cole, why don't you roll initiative? I got a 17.
15.
You got a what?
15.
15. Okay, so this probably about 5 foot, 5'5", around that range, half goblin, who's just really flexing. You can tell he's real cocky. He goes, "I am Gogan, the killer and slayer of men." And he's flexing it all about, and he says, "I'm going to eat you like the false king you are." And he is going to move up to you and swing down with both his fists. That is unfortunate. Does a nat 20 hit? Yes, it does.
Yes.
Oh, thank the Lord. Okay. For 8 points of damage, he swings down and he kind of crushes you into the floor and lifts back up, looking down at you like he just whooped you. So you're kind of falling on the ground, kind of to a knee.
Okay. So I guess for my first attack, it's going to be the dagger.
Okay, where would you have any specific place you want to stick it?
Nope, just swiping at, like, presumably his legs, because I'm not going to try and go and reach high.
Okay, like behind the knee or just like right at the bone or what?
Yeah, just right at his legs, cut
Okay.
his legs. 16.
100%. Yep.
For 10 points.
Wow. Okay.
And then for a bonus action, I'm going to use my fire breath on him.
Okay.
Am I able to use any of my spells to help him?
Probably not without being caught.
Right. Even if I disguised it as just playing soundtrack.
Well, you
for the fight?
you don't need to play the guitar to do the spell. It just cuts how much arcana you're using in half.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And Beasel's probably gonna be fine. So.
Okay.
Do your fire breath. What's the roll?
I'm taking bets, by the way, on the side.
Good.
The roll is a 13.
That'll also hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
I'm assuming he's unarmored.
Yeah, he's just like most goblins. Yeah.
For 7.
For 7? Oh, diggity dog. Yeah, so you cut at his legs and he kind of shrieks out in pain, and you instantly just do your breath attack on him, and fire's kind of singeing his flesh and burning him, and he has to pat it out as he stumbles backwards. And then he leans in real quick to give you one hard sucker punch. Let's see. Does a 20? Yeah, 20. Obviously 20 is going to hit. Okay. For 3 points of damage, he reaches forward, and he's real hurt, so he doesn't really get a real powerful punch in, but he clocks you on the cheek, on the side of your face.
Okay. And I'm going to say, after I spit the dragon blood out, I'm going to look back at him and say, "Do you yield?"
And he looks at you and says, "A true king would make me yield."
Okay. If that's how we're going to play this, I'm taking another dagger attack at him.
Okay.
This is where I hope he's unarmored, because I only got a 10.
No, that's not going to cut it. Literally. So you...
I'm not done yet, because I'm going to use the fire breath too.
Okay.
You want me to roll for that now?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh! 18.
Okay, sweet. So, and roll for damage. So you swipe at him, and he's able to dodge out of the way, kind of like doing a little bit of a stumble to the side, to which you breathe your fire at him.
Yep, for 5 points.
For 5 points. So you hit him with that, and you can tell he is hurting real bad, and he falls down to the ground. As he's trying to get back up, but he just doesn't have the energy for it. And he'll look up at you, and he'll just kind of swing at air because he can't reach you, so he's just swinging at nothing, making it your turn again.
Yeah. I'm going to try to deal non-lethal damage with my, I guess the hilt of my dagger.
Okay.
To knock him out.
Yeah, go for it. I wouldn't say it would take too much, probably 14.
Well, I got a 13.
So you strike down and it hits him, and he's like, and he's like kind of pissed off. And then
I would like to give his patron the opportunity to stop this fight before I kill his champion.
Okay, look up at him and do your thing.
I think you should stop your champion now, or you'll be choosing a new one.
So Gorgo, I think was his name. He gets kind of dragged off into a separate chamber, and the leader of the Gibbons clan comes down and says, "You seem to be legit. You took him out pretty easily with very little damage. We will be at your beck and call, and your manservant will have all of the lady goblins he can possibly muster."
Yeah.
And at that he snaps, and you both kind of get these concubines to form a harem for yourselves, and that's where we'll leave off for the session.
Heck yeah.
Ooh, Gus, what are they doing?
Just lay back, boy. It'll be over before you know it.
Well, this has been Dylan with Tales of Truja, Treasure of the Lost.
I'm Beazle.
I'm Gus.
But are you Beazle?
I'm also Beazle.
Beazle.